Okay, let's go through, this is video number 4 now, right? With Eric Dubay.
Even Google mentioned it during their commercial. Do you remember this?
Actually, no, I don't, but so what?
Why would Google be promoting this?
As a joke?
As a joke?
As a joke.
No. We know why.
Oh, so now you're going to tell us, without absolutely any proof, what their ulterior motive was. This is called an accusation, and there's no evidence for this.
They were panicking. Panicking because the platform they purchased 10 years ago was collapsing with truth.
Collapsing. What does that mean? I'm pretty sure YouTube is stronger today than it's ever been. It didn't go anywhere. It didn't collapse. You're just using rhetoric to make it sound like, oh, the truth was getting out there and they had to stop it. That's your biased interpretation of what happened, but it's not true at all.
Powers that be would not allow that.
The powers that be. Now, the powers that be would just delete everything and end your channel and stuff like that. But now he's going to show you how Congress came up with something to, instead of deleting them, just put something that it proclaims what the truth is about this subject on it instead. That allows people to make informed decisions on their own. So they're not censoring anything. Now, listen to this thing from C-SPAN.
We want to provide users with authoritative, trustworthy information.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I only have a minute and a half, and I don't really need to hear what you're trying to provide. I want to know how you're dealing with all these conspiracy theorists on your platform.
Okay, and these conspiracy theorists that he is talking about in this particular hearing, this meeting, is not really about flat earthers. They're talking about the other stuff that's going on in politics that they want to be able to censor. You know, this guy on the screen is a Democrat. You know what that means about his view of the Republican Party and the MAGA movement and all of that stuff. So there's a lot of claims out there that the MAGA movement are a bunch of conspiracy theorists, right? So that's really what they're generally talking about in this, where they can slap some sort of label on something to deal with the big lie. Remember that? That's still technically going on in politics today. So their thoughts about flat Earth really had very little to do with this. Now, she's going to use it as an example. And let's hear her response.
So the first way is by demoting low-quality content and promoting more authoritative content. And the second is by providing more transparency for users. So we're introducing boxes that provide factual information at the top of results that have shown themselves to turn up a lot of information that is counterfactual, such as searching for the Earth is flat on YouTube, where you see a lot of...
Your response is to put a box saying, nope, the Earth is not flat.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
So instead...
Right. See, the thing is she ended up choosing the flat Earth thing as her example because it's the easiest one to disprove. She didn't get into the Trump controversies versus the Democrats. You know, she didn't get into any of those kind of supposed conspiracy theories. But that's actually what this hearing was really about. She ended up using a really good example, the flat Earth thing, because generally it's a very fringe population, small percentage of people that believe in this flat Earth thing. So generally anybody in the hearing can very easily agree, whether you're Republican or Democrat, that the flat Earth thing is a bunch of garbage, and therefore throwing this thing on there that says flat Earth is not true is not objectionable to either side of the debate in this hearing. Now, if she would have brought up a conspiracy theory about, maybe January 6th or something, then, you'd get pushback from the people in the hearing. She used the most benign example she could in the hearing. That didn't prove anything. So here's the flat earth response from Mr. Dubay about what he thinks was going on here.
So instead of deleting all of the millions of videos we have made, they simply decided to bring in their puppets to reiterate the agenda at stake.
Okay, so all he does is say, instead of deleting everything, which would actually be true censorship, if this was actually some conspiracy trying to hide the flat earth, I would think just deleting stuff would be the most dictatorship type thing that you could do if these people are so controlling the world like you think. The flat earthers, that is. And so your response is, well, instead of deleting stuff, which lets your garbage still be out there, and if your garbage is so good and so scientifically valid, then how come your stuff still being out there isn't convincing the majority of scientifically minded people out there like myself? So instead, you have to go to this ad hominem attack by just calling people clowns. That's your favorite word. A childish insult. That's all it is.
We are already sufficiently motivated to invest the necessary resources and people in addressing this threat.
Yeah, putting a little thing on the screen that's sort of clownish and having her voice in the background, what did that prove, people? Did that really prove that they are hiding the flat earth? No. Your bias, Eric Dubay, is just inferring it because you want to believe in your fantasy that you're probably making a lot of money from.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly.
Yeah, that was Elon Musk, his voice, I can tell. But boy, that was the entire clip, and boy, was that out of context. Let's see, how long was this? There's my seconds.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly.
Literally like a 3-second clip, and he's using that as some kind of proof, completely out of context.
The earth being flat is getting out of control. Can you please help? Can you please help?
When you stand on the shoulders of those who came before, you might just see far enough to realize the earth isn't flat.
1 + 1 is?
2.
What color is the sky?
Blue.
And the earth is?
Round. Second is here.
Where is something false in any of this? All he did was call these people clowns and then show clips of them telling the truth. Where's the proof that what they're saying is false? There's no proof here that what they're saying is false. You're just asserting that what they're saying is false and not showing any actual proof that it's false.
This float celebrates flat earth theory that is spreading ironically around the
World and its possible roundness.
Spinning.
Now they are talking about it.
Now they're talking about it because you created a hoax back in 2013 that has spread through the internet using fake science and has probably put a lot of money into your pocket.
They want you to search for it.
No, you want them to search for it. There's no evidence that Google or YouTube or any of these social media sites are purposely wanting people to search for flat Earth, especially if they're the ones trying to hide it. There is zero logic in what you're saying.
Because
Now, okay, here, listen to what he says.
they already changed their algorithm to be set up in their favor.
Really, because take a look at what you just saw on the screen. The very first thing, flat Earth, is what he put in. The very first thing is flat Earth proof. If they change their algorithm, why is the first video pro-flat Earth? But of course, when you play this, it scrolls off the top so quickly that you don't even really notice it, do you?
Because they already changed their algorithm to be set up in their favor.
What is this trash?
None of this tells you our side of the story.
Yeah, but yet you just said that there's literally millions of videos that you guys have made. You just said that in a previous clip. So if all of those videos are out there, Why can't they prove what you're claiming? They don't.
These are all videos they put together.
They. Who's they? The one right on the screen here is Professor Dave Explains. I have his videos on my ministry page, not because he's a great guy. The guy is not a Christian. He tries to bash young earth creationism, and I have another video that refutes him on that. But the shape of the earth is observable, and Professor Dave is correct in what he is saying. There's zero evidence that Professor Dave is being paid by NASA or is some part of the deep state or whatever you want to accuse him of. He's not they. He's just another dude in the world like me that is just making his own videos, and his videos scientifically prove the Earth is a globe. And you can't refute anything in his videos. You can't. All you can do is call him a clown and then make up these kind of videos that just rush through everything really quickly and don't actually get into any detail at all about your supposed experiments.
So you can watch and learn nothing.
Your videos, your flat earth videos is what people are watching and learning nothing. They're learning a bunch of false stuff.
Nothing that any of us would show you.
Correct, because you would show us false stuff.
Like here, have you ever seen a time lapse of the sun? Does
Yes.
it look like the Earth is rotating backwards and
No, it looks like the sun is going down below the horizon.
the sun is still? Or does it look
I see that sun going down. It is literally going down. Let's see it again. It's up here. It's going to be down here eventually.
backwards and the sun is still?
It's
Or
going
does it
down.
look like our sun is simply
It's going down below the horizon.
moving across our sky, traveling away from your perspective? Again, but with some inversion.
Oh, now you have to use CGI to get your point across, huh?
You can clearly see the sun, not only decreasing its size, but heading towards its next destination.
It's not decreasing in size. You are seeing a difference between the radiance of the sun and the actual sun, and the radiance of the sun will get weaker and weaker and weaker as it goes through thicker and thicker atmosphere, and as it goes down below the horizon. This is not a good scientific experiment that you're doing here. It's a trickery. It's not good. Uncontrolled experiment.
With a slight turn, before it
With a slight turn.
disappears from your line of sight.
Look, it's going down. That is going below the horizon. Watch, let's do it again. It's up here.
You can clearly see the sun, not only decreasing its size,
The sun is not getting smaller there. It's a radiance issue.
but heading
But
towards
it's-
its next destination with a slight turn before it disappears
With a
from your line
slight
of
turn.
sight.
How on earth are you telling me that the sun takes a slight turn? It goes below the horizon. You can't deny that. Okay, apparently there was music underneath this. And next one, okay.
While
Okay.
Google would make sure when
So let's look at that. What do you see? You see the sun through very thick Earth atmosphere, and that creates refraction issues. That's what you're seeing here. You are not seeing a sun literally shrinking in size. And remember, this is a zoomed in photo big time.
while Google would make sure when you type in flat Earth
Okay,
that
watch.
nothing like this
It's
would
going
ever
lower
pop up.
and lower. Yeah, see, they don't show you very much of these clips, do they? They cut it right at the point where they want it to.
Or when you type in
Down,
flat Earth that
going
nothing
lower.
like this would ever pop up.
You see it going lower and lower. And where am I here? There was another one on there. Let's see the other side of the screen, because look how he confuses you with two of them on the screen at the same time. Over here. You're paying attention over here, aren't you? You can't really look at both of them at the same time. Why did you put two of them on the screen at the same time? To confuse? That wouldn't be surprising, seeing how the flat earthers have the spirit of confusion in them. Watch this one on the right.
Make sure when you type in
Way
flat
down.
Earth that nothing
Down,
like this
down,
would ever
down,
pop up.
gone. That is going down in the sky. It is not just getting further and further away while still staying up in the sky.
But many
Down,
agree
down,
the
down,
science
down,
regarding our
down.
sun
Hits the
is far
horizon,
from
starts
settled.
going up again. Up, up, up. This is obviously a shot of like 24-hour sunlight in, I'm going to have to guess this is the North Pole, so to speak, because there's no way they're going to show you 24-hour sunlight in Antarctica. Now, I've got a video that actually shows that, and all they can do is say, it's fake. They have zero evidence it's fake, but that's proof right there. When you've got 24-hour sunlight in Antarctica, flat Earth is dead. They instead show you this photo from the North Pole, and it shows you the sun going down in the sky and then up in the sky. Because that's what it does with a globe.
Long before the theory
Okay, and now gravity.
of gravity was a glimmer in Newton's imagination,
His imagination. He's just imagining things going down to the ground.
the natural physics of density and buoyancy already perfectly explained why apples fall down.
No, wrong. It did not. That's why Newton had to figure out what is the force that is actually forcing things to fall down to the ground. Density does not answer that. Buoyancy does not answer that. Those two things only answer why they sort in the order that they do. But neither of them explain why down. Why does everything go down? Neither of those answer that question, because buoyancy and density could very easily sort things left to right, or maybe up to down instead of down to up. Why down? That was the answer that Newton wanted, and gravity is the only answer.
Objects fall or rise based on their relative density to the medium surrounding them. Apples fall because they are denser than the air,
Correct.
while
This is
helium
true.
balloons rise because they are lighter.
Correct. The helium is lighter than the surrounding nitrogen and oxygen in the current air. So the helium rises higher than the nitrogen. Yeah, correct.
Gravity necessary.
No, the gravity is the reason that the nitrogen is lower than the helium. Density and buoyancy do not answer that question. It answers you why one's on top of the other, but it doesn't say why they go down.
This is why raindrops fall down through the air and air bubbles rise up through water. Everything seeks its relative density and rises or falls until settling accordingly.
But why does it rise and fall? That's the question that you flat earthers just can't get into your head. You think that density and buoyancy answers that question when it does not.
This is why a tiny pebble sinks to the bottom of the ocean, but gigantic cruise ships and aircraft carriers stay afloat on the surface. Because even though a pebble is so small, its mass, relative to its volume, its density, is more than water, so it sinks. And even though a cruise ship is so large, its mass, relative to its volume, is less than water, so it floats.
Is that really the reason why it floats? You still have not given me an answer of why up and down. And that is the problem with the flat earth claim that gravity doesn't exist. They depend on buoyancy and density, but they don't explain why those two things work in an up and down fashion. That is why Newton came up with the concept of gravity. Plus, there are also known experiments out there that prove that mass attracts mass. That is what gravity is. The Earth has so much mass to it that it is attracting all of the mass that is on it. That is why everything sticks, so to speak, to the Earth.
If Newton's apple had landed in a puddle, he would have seen the apple only fell through the air because it was denser than the air, but then floated on top of the water because it was less dense than water.
Yeah, that's all true. But why did the apple go down to begin with? Gravity's the only answer to that.
The natural physics of density and buoyancy was understood and agreed upon for centuries before they changed our textbooks and started NASA.
Before they changed our textbooks and started NASA. Now, I'm pretty sure that Sir Isaac Newton was back in the 1600s and came up with gravity then, and gravity has been an accepted science generally since then. But now you're claiming that it was 1950s when NASA was created. That's when the textbooks changed? Are you going to claim that none of the textbooks before the 50s taught gravity? That's just not true. It's not true at all. I don't even have to go look. Prove me wrong. Mic drop.